Hello, hello, good morning, good afternoon to all Facebook friends and leaders. Today I'll share with you an amazing topic that you would love and get excited about, get inspired about. And it's all about taking that employee experience to the next level so you can create more loyal customers, elevate the customer experience even better than it is right now. I've got some strategies and ideas that I'll share with you in this video, and it's a quick story that can really inspire you to deliver a better employee experience in your organization today, because I think that's where we're missing a lot of great opportunities. If you look at the employee engagement, the numbers are just low, and we've got to do what we can as leaders to improve those numbers. A lot of it is relying on what we call responsible leadership, of where you taking your leadership to improve your organization and have better employee engagement each and every day. And people, as they say, happy employees, engaged employees will take care of the customer. I remember something that stuck with me in the hotel business for a long time was Bill Marriott, actually the J.W. Marriott, the father of Bill Marriott, said long time ago, and this is a philosophy that served the company for many years, and that was about, if you take care of your employees, they will take care of the customer, and the customer will come back. I want to say this again because this philosophy was back in the 1920s. J.W. Marriott said this to his entire organization, was small back then. It was about taking care of your employees so they will take care of the customer, and the customer will come back. And this was a story because what J.W. Marriott did was he was able to connect and visit employees in his restaurants and his hotel to drive employee engagement. So employee engagement has been around for a long time, but we've got to do a better job in creating an employee experience. And I'll define what employee experience is. I remember years ago when I started out in the hotel business, I joined a company. And it was a company who was really dedicated not only to serve external customers. They knew that if they serve its internal customers, they knew that something great was going to happen. We were all had one purpose, and that purpose was to serve our customers. But internally, we knew we had a great culture because the leadership was modeling the customer experience also on inside the company. People were energized about being there. People were growing. They were developing. The focus was about, how do I grow you? How do I develop you to become a more customer service leader? And it was a great environment because people were connected. It was almost like a community. And this is a story I want to share with you. If you grow your organization, you're developing people, think about a community of people are engaging, people are connecting with one another, people are sharing expectations, people are hold each other accountable for that. What I took from that experience early on in my career, this was an engaging experience for me because I didn't have an idea what the hotel business is about, what is hospitality about. This was learning about customer experience. I've learned the most valuable lesson back then. It was about, let's take care of our employees. Let's grow them. Let's care for them. You know, we don't use the word caring anymore in our business. And when it comes to human relationships, you know what's funny about customer experience and employee experience is that it's almost the same rules of engagement. You've got to create an emotional connection. You've got to listen well. You've got to surprise and delight. And you got to follow up and get feedback. Same rules of engagement. But I wanted to define for you, when people are asking, well, tell me how do you define an employee experience? What does that mean? So let me give you a definition of what an employee experience is all about. An employee experience is the sum of all interactions and engagements between the employee and the company. Remember that your employees represent your brand. They can be an evangelist of your company. If they get great service internally, as a result, they will take care of the customer. They will also tell other people in the marketplace about your company. So think about that. But I want to share with you a couple of thoughts here, because there's a study that was made by Northwest University that found that there's a direct correlation between employee satisfaction and customer satisfaction and how it's improving financial performance. You know, so oftentimes people underestimate the financial performance of employee satisfaction. It costs more to bring in a new employee to your culture, to your organization, to your business. It costs a lot more than you taking care of that employee, investing in that employee, training them, developing them, creating a culture of engagement. One of my favorite books out there is Drive by Daniel Fink, which is talking about what employees are looking for right now. They're looking for autonomy, they're looking for purpose, they're looking for self-mastery, they're looking for relationships. And so I want you to think of it as you're leading your organization, as you're leading your culture, what are people looking for? And I'll share with you 5 strategies that you can really connect and create that employee experience for your team each and every day. But those are really, really important, because if I know for a fact in my 20 years plus experience that employees are energized and more engaged if they feel empowered, if they feel happy at work, if they feel like they are part of something meaningful. They want to be part of something bigger than themselves. But it's up to you as a leader to create that environment, to create a sense of fulfillment for your employees today, because listen, engagement is low, but you got to do that. You got to take responsibility for creating better engagement. So one of the things that was discovered in order to create a better experience for your employees is effective communication. You know, when you think about communication, it's not just talking, it's making sure that you do things together with your team. Creating a shared vision, creating shared values, creating shared purpose for your team is essential. It's all about the shared economy. How do we do things together with our team is going to set the tone for the rest of the performance of the organization, because people are doing things collaboratively. Create a culture of collaboration is the key. So you're creating things together. The other aspect of it is employee engagement. How engaged are your employees? There are several topics on that, and I don't want to hit it because I know there's questions that will test the engagement level of your employees there. Now, the one thing that we know is that companies, and I want you to think of a company that stand out in the customer service field, and they are really excelling in customer experience. You take Southwest Airlines, you take Apple, you take Amazon, you take Ritz-Carlton, Zappos, some of those well-known companies. And I know a lot of people have been talking about them, but I want you to think real quick about, is the culture in those organizations, is the employee experience in those companies, what is it like? It's an amazing experience in those companies that will tell you when you're talking to, when they surveyed and got feedback from employees in those companies, what they found out is employees are energized, engaged, they are want to deliver exceptional service. It's part of their core values, it's part of the culture, is to synergize that service philosophy and take action toward that and execute that. Now, let me give you a couple of ideas on what you can do to become a great leader to increase that level of engagement in your organization. So one of the things that you have to do as a leader is, first of all, is create an environment of where people want to come in to work. Let me say this again. Many people feel like they have to go to work. You know, think about it. I mean, there's so many conversations that people are sharing and people are talking about, and they're saying you really get the sense. You really get the sense that they have to be at work. They're not energized and they're not inspired. They're really missing a noble purpose to serve. So let me give you some ideas. One of the things that you have to do as an employer is to create a written employee promise. Meaning, what is that you owe to your employees? What is that you want to do for your employees? How can you serve your employees, and you create a promise, you create a statement, you create a mission of how you're going to do this, and you get people to align with that, because it's all about fostering the trust and level of engagement that's really, really important. The second thing is developing an authentic and caring environment where you're truly listening and you're truly getting ongoing feedback about the customer experience as well as the employee experience. Oftentimes, we wait for those employee surveys, or we wait for the end of the year, and we wait for performance evaluations. We're not having real conversations every day to find out what our employees think about their experience and also the customer experience. You've got to get feedback if you want to learn more. So what I encourage you to do today is take a notepad, take a piece of paper, write down some of that feedback that you're getting so you can really, really find out what's on your employees' mind. I mean, we do this with customers. We want to gain insight to their experience. So why not get an insight to your employee experience today? That's a great, one of the examples that I learned was about Richard Branson. He has a notepad to learn. He gets on the airplanes. He's getting a notepad. He's jot down a lot of ideas that he hears from both the customers and the employees about their experience. The next thing is cultivating an environment of clarity. People need to know what they're striving for. They got to have a set of standards. They got to have a set of goals. They got to have expectations. And they also have to have accountability. One of the things that I hear the most is that people are not clear. People getting mixed messages. And so you've got to be an effective communicator as a leader so people will know, first of all, where they're going and what does success look like from a measurement standpoint, and meaning that there are goals, concrete goals, that would drive them and energize them to achieve those goals. And so there's got to be a specific clear picture of what success looks like, the mission and where we're going, and then how people's behaviors are contributing to that overall goal. The next thing I want to share with you is that you want to grow the talent on your team. So oftentimes we take our employees for granted that they'll stay there for years and years and years and years. And I think this is where the opportunity comes in for all of us, is that we got to find ways to grow our talent. One of the examples I shared with you in the hotel that I was working at early in my career, which was my first hotel, it was an environment of growth. And back then, there weren't as many resources as there was today. There weren't as many leadership development as there is today. But everybody was a leader in a way that they were developing more leaders in the organizations. And they took the time to do daily development, daily growth and development. Some of you guys who work in the hospitality field are familiar with the huddle, are familiar with the 10 to 15 minute huddle of where you share a training topic, you share the standards, and you share customer experiences, you share the wow stories. All these things are great things for your team. Continue to do that because it elevates their experience. So you got to elevate the employee experience to the next level, and you got to connect with two things. You got to connect to their heart and you got to connect to their mind so they feel part of something bigger than themselves. So it's really, really important. And last is continue to work on continuous improvement with your team. Continuous improvement is what's going to set you apart. So many companies, so many organizations feel comfortable and they don't want to get out of that comfort level, and they don't invest in their people, they don't invest in their resources, and they're not doing enough to really put people before profit. And this is really the bottom line when we're talking about customer experience, is the companies who focus on the customer before they focus on the employees are profit before people. What I'm here to share with you is something that is a real lifetime experience. In my experience, is the companies that are successful, they are the ones that putting people before profit, because the people will generate loyalty, customer loyalty. I shared with you the study that was conducted by Northwest University. that is a powerful study that I encourage you to look at, because there is a direct correlation between employee experience, internal employee experience, to the external experience. And that what I know is what I know, and I can say this with 100% integrity, is that when I feel energized, when I know there's a culture that's cultivating those areas and ideas that I shared with you, I know people will go the extra mile. I know people want to say, I want to become part of that. I want to come to work instead of have to come to work. And that's really the responsibility of a leader, is to create an environment. Is to create an environment of where people feel like they want to come to work rather than have to come to work. So I know a lot of you guys are logging in, watching this later on, maybe watching this whenever. Feel free to, first of all, share the love, share the ideas that I'm sharing with you, because there's someone out there who's trying to improve the customer experience. But remember, you've got to improve the employee experience before you can improve the customer experience. So share this with people who you think can benefit from this video, and I really appreciate, always with gratitude, the experience we're having here on Facebook Live, which is part about service to you every day, adding value to you and serving you each and every day. So hey, thank you so much, and I will see you on the next training video. Take care, guys.